Hello, and welcome to Old Toy, New Joy, the show where I share with you my previously enjoyed toys I purchased from online sources, thrift stores, and collector shows that once belonged to someone else. Today I decided to talk about my 8 very favorite hockey cards from the 1950s and 1960s. It was sort of tough to choose these 8, but in the interest of keeping the video within a certain time limit and watchable for you, I just chose 8. So let's get started. The card before you is a 1954 Topps Gordie Howe. This was Topps' first hockey card set. The cards measured 2 5/8 by 3 3/4 inches and portrayed players from the American teams with 60 cards. Gordie Howe's card is the most valuable card of the set, and I purchased mine when I was 13 years old with most of the money I earned from my summer job working at a baseball concession stand, flipping burgers and taking people's money and that sort of thing. I was supposed to save it up to buy new school clothes, but my priorities lay elsewhere, obviously. So, Mr. Hockey, as he was known, finished his career, which spanned 5 decades, with 1,850 points, 801 goals, and 1,049 assists in 1,767 regular season NHL games. He also played in the WHA, amassing 160 points, 68 goals, and 92 assists in 419 games. Between 1949 and 1980, he played in 23 NHL All-Star games, and from 1950 to 1963, he led the NHL in points 6 times and goals 3 times. So let's get a closer look at this. Yeah, it's got rounded corners, and the blue border at the bottom is a little bit scuffed. That's common with this giant card set. Nice colorful red, blue, and white on the back. Next up is this 1954 Parkhurst Rocket Richard. This set has 100 cards and featured players from all 6 of the NHL teams, and each card measures 2.5 inches by 3 5/8 inches. I bought this card when I was 14 at a flea market, and I only paid $10 because of the crease. Right here, there's a crease. We'll take a closer look at it across the middle. Nonetheless, I thought I struck gold. I had a 1950s Maurice Rocket Richard hockey card for $10. That's all I cared about. Nobody could tell me otherwise. Richard joined the Canadiens in 1942 and remained with them until 1960 when he retired. He finished his career with 965 points, 544 goals, which was a record at that time, and 421 assists in 978 games. Richard led the league in goals 5 times and scored 50 goals in 50 games in 1944-1945. So let's take a closer look at this guy. Sort of a dark image, hard to see all of his facial features, but very cool. This is the way Parker's kind of looked at that time. They also had a wrestling card set that year, and it had the same sort of design with the number square in the corner and that. I'd like to get some of those. There's the back, just basically black and white. And Gordie Howe and Rocket Richard pretty much owned the 1950s when it came to points and goals. And here we have 1955-56 Parkhurst cards of Doug Harvey and Dickie Moore. There are 79 cards in the set, featuring players from the only 2 Canadian teams, the Canadiens and the Leafs, as well as old-time greats. These 2 cards were a gift from my aunt and uncle for Christmas when I was 14, because they knew that I loved hockey cards from the 1950s. They are in incredible shape. Let's take a look at the Dougie more. For cards of that age, very good corners. The red at the bottom is in good shape. That's usually the first thing to go. And also, the background is pretty white. It often yellows over time. Nice red back there. Let's talk about the players a little bit. Doug Harvey won 6 Stanley Cups with the Canadiens. He won the Norris Trophy for Best Defenseman 7 times and played in 11 All-Star games. Dickie Moore also won 6 Stanley Cups with the Canadiens, led the league in points 2 times, and played in 6 All-Star games. And this is my 1957-58 Topps Terry Sawchuck. After their 1954 set, this was Topps' only second set of hockey cards, and again, only featured players from the 4 American teams. They were also smaller at 2.5 by 3.5 inches. I love the solid back color featured on the front behind the player. And I bought this Terry Sawchuck as a teenager at a flea market for around $15, and it was the only Sawchuck I've ever owned. Terry played for 5 different teams over his 21-season career, in which he won 447 regular season games and recorded 103 regular season shutouts. He was the Rookie of the Year in 1951 and played in 11 All-Star games, won 4 Vezina trophies, and 4 Stanley Cups. Red and blue back, somewhat similar to the 1954 Topps design. And for my final 3 cards, I chose the 1962-63 Parkhurst set. This 55 card set is one of my very favorite all-time hockey card sets, mostly because of the hockey puck background featured on many of the cards. Only players from the Canadiens, Maple Leafs, and Red Wings were featured. So I bought this Dave Keon card when I was a teenager at a flea market for $10. This is his second-year card. He was the Leafs' leading scorer 3 times and top goal scorer twice. He won 4 Stanley Cups, a Rookie of the Year, and the 1967 playoff MVP. Love that hockey puck. This card has great corners for its age and also very little yellowing. Still that sort of dry black and white back. Not very exciting backs on the Parkhurst. And I also bought this Johnny Bower from the same seller as the Dave Keon, also for $10. Bower also won 4 Stanley Cups with the Maple Leafs, as well as 2 Vezina trophies, sharing it with Terry Sawchuck in 1964-65. Also excellent condition. And this Tim Horton was a recent eBay purchase. I'd always wanted this card. I love this card. I love how they put some yellow in the background. And this is a vertical card, not a horizontal like the Bauer and the Keon. And Tim Horton played 24 seasons. in the NHL for 4 different teams. He won his 4 Stanley Cups alongside Keon and Bauer and played in 7 All-Star games. And of course, he also made some donuts. Great shot. I love that. A little more color to the back. I don't know if it's just because it's yellowed or if they did that on purpose, but there you go. So thank you for letting me share my favorite hockey cards from the 1950s and 60s. If you liked the video, please like the video and we will keep them coming. I also invite you to explore my channel and take a look at the other videos we've made, which feature many other items of interest to me and possibly you, such as action figures, G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man, wrestling, superpowers, Hot Wheels, Red Lines, White Walls from the 80s, Matchbox, lunchboxes, hockey cards, of course, baseball cards, Star Wars, and much, much more. Until next time, this is your Toy Whisperer saying farewell on Old Toy, New Joy.